you seem to be a very like polite, composed person. But there has to be something deep down inside of you that people don't know about. And you don't have to tell me everything, but I am curious. Like, how do you switch from this gear of just this really composed, polite guy to all of a sudden stepping in and being like, secretly, I'm going to fuck all of you guys up?
It is going to be my God.
It is.
Get your highlight reels roll. Done. Interesting with the Florida. So Florida.
You gonna die. Yeah.
Running, really. It was an unbelievable run.
It's the voice inside of God's head that takes control when that guy they think less of gets up on their shoulder, or your friend you just won't let beat you. Whether we like it or not, ego is inside of all of us. It's what runs the country, states, and especially track and field. With that, typically there's two types of athletes and two very different versions of ego we see in track and field. Runners are known to be some of the cockiest people ever across all sports, and as someone who usually speaks a lot about humility, I have to acknowledge the role that it plays in sports and entertainment. Some of the most entertaining people we watch in the athletic world, guys like Noah Lyles, Jordan, Conor McGregor, have been known to be some of the most egotistical people ever. We need these people because they're the ones who talk trash, start rivalries, and ultimately make things interesting. They're the ones that sell tickets. Then there's the opposite type of athlete. These are your like John Cena's, Eliud Kipchoge's, Muhammad Ali's. If the more arrogant guys are your hot, you're red, these guys are your cold and your blue. It's black and white. There's something about seeing this duality and contrasting dynamic between the athlete who is humble and the one who is arrogant. Do get out to see who comes out on top, the hero or the villain. There's something about this yin-yang energy that when it clashes, it creates some of the best competitions ever. And today we're going to be exploring that dynamic of what drives these two polar opposite athletes and why they both need each other to succeed in the world of track and field. An arrogant athlete can actually be some of the most relatable people in track and field. And I say this because a lot of why people resonate with these certain types of athletes and not with others is because we project ourselves onto athletes when we see them competing. Their personality, their views, it's the same reason people resonate with certain type of artists or buy certain types of products. Like that thing is marketed for that specific person. It's sold for them because it aligns with their values and what they stand for. So in a way, a lot of people are going to root for these types of guys because they're going to say whatever to whoever, and then they're actually going to back it up. And the people watching this watching those guys wish that they could do the same thing. I mean, like, come on, who wouldn't want to go into a field of some of the best guys like known in track and then be like, I'm about to mess y'all up and I'm gonna look good 2 and 2, and then actually do it. The people who typically resonate with the villain are people who may have been overlooked in the past and are like getting back from everybody doubting them. They represent suppressed emotions and impulses like revenge, dominance, and just like proving people wrong. It creates this untouchable persona when they continue to do this, and kind of like a spiraling snowball both to you and to the people watching. And you'll say whatever because like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna tell him? He performs. In its own way, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I am the best, y'all can't tell me nothing. It becomes an affirmation, and then you just continue to prove it to yourself, right? He stepped at whoever he wanted, and track a guy like Ingebrigtsen hyping up the crowd while everyone else behind him is dying, running the race of their life, talking about how he's the pacemaker in interviews. That's the same energy as like why people like the NWA in the 80s, they said whatever to whoever they wanted and then backed it up with sales. The more they said they were that dude, the more records they sold. Now, this also additionally attracts another type of energy because to whom much is given, much is required. There are multiple downsides to kind of moving like this in track and athletics. The day you lose is the day it all comes crashing down. The source of self-esteem and confidence becomes a monster that gets bigger and bigger the more you feed it. It starts off real small, but then as you feed it, it grows and grows and requires more and more to eat to be satisfied. The moment you can't feed this monster is the moment that it wants to eat you alive. And the moment you lose is the moment you have to rethink everything about who you are because you just went and made it your whole identity. Even when you do win, if you don't get exactly what you wanted, if you don't hit X time, you can still struggle with confidence. And even though you are still that person, even when you do get it, it sometimes still isn't enough. Even with all this evidence of who you are, You're always looking for the next thing. And then the people the villain was performing for, if that athlete acted that way to prove people wrong, as soon as they fall, the weight of everyone they were trying to prove wrong falls on their back. Every day they feed like this black hole inside of them, and they build themselves up higher and higher on this pedestal, and the higher it was, the harder and longer they will fall. The reason people end up not liking these guys is because like they get corny because they have no like switch, they have no like turn off, like because if you aren't constantly topping your last performance, people will instantly turn on you. You shouldn't expect them to have your back either, because you talk the smack, you got to be able to walk the talk too. And the minute you don't, all those people from before will remind you of everything that you said. And in general, people just don't like rude and arrogant people. When someone can't leave it on the track, they can't flip the switch, it makes them just like overall like unpleasant to be around. Again, the sport needs these types of people because they are the catalyst to the flame of some of the greatest performances and bouts ever. And most importantly, they're the first half of a dynamic that powered some of the greatest races of all time. The humble athlete is not just loved by many, they're loved by almost everyone. And they're loved not only because they're good, but because they're in contrast to the bad. Dark is nothing without light. Light is nothing without dark. When you understand that, you see the contrast is what fuels this entire dynamic. If you're just in a field of good guys, there's no passion, there's no fire, like there's no conflict. Every good story has conflict. The Dark Knight makes a great point about that, with Batman and the Joker needing each other because the cat needs a mouse to catch. And contrast is a spark, not just in track and field, but in life itself. So we love the hero because we also project ourselves onto them, and the hero represents praised values in society like humility, respect, and honor. In the simplest way possible, they represent what is good. Where the arrogant athlete is self-affirming, constantly fueling the fire themselves, needing this external proven validation pointed inwards, the humble athlete operates differently and in a different light. Instead of the outside affirming what's inside, for them the inside affirms what happens externally. It's not I'm the best, I'm about to mess y'all up, almost like they're trying to convince themselves of it. It's being quiet because you're going to show them what you're going to do. Your actions are going to speak for themselves. The hero represents security of self and the idea that you don't have to be loud and put others down to still be great. But they're not perfect either. If the villain loses, their world crumbles. But if the hero wins too much, that's when fans switch up on them too, because nobody wants to see somebody win that much. Like, a hero has to have struggle. That's why like the Rock's movies get hated on, because the man does not lose. It's too perfect. It becomes inhumane and unrelatable. After a while, you want to see them get beat. You want to see them struggle, because without struggle and loss, they start to feel above you and like they're not human. And that's where the disconnect comes between you and that particular athlete. Nobody wants to see the same person win every single time. It's just boring. Like, these two kind of work together because of what each represents. Everyone has this moral law inside of them and an idea of what is fair. The hero abides by that law and the villain does not. The villain crosses this law. He might say something and then people react like, he can't say that. That was really mean. That's not fair. And based on this line, that's what usually creates tension. The villain breaks these rules and the hero does not. He's not being fair or honorable. He is crossing this line that people try so hard to uphold. And that's exactly why his fans respect him, because he can cross that line with no consequences. And back to the projection part, people wish that they can do that as well. That's why they resonate with the villain. The hero represents the sport and societal ideal values like virtue, calmness, and humility, while the villain carries society's repressed emotions and desires to express dominance, aggression, and a demand for respect. So what's the lesson here? What am I actually trying to say? I don't believe that in track ego is a bad thing. I don't believe anyone should step on the track and say, nah, after you, I want you to win. That's not my point. What I'm saying is, because track is built on dominance and ego, you need that fire, you need that energy, you need that thing that's gonna say, that's gonna prevent you from getting eaten alive when you step out to compete. But it's also built on respect and sportsmanship. You don't have to be a jerk to win races. You don't have to be a jerk to people outside the competition because you win races. You can go out there, talk some smack, keep it respectful. If you lose, say good race, you win, it's the same thing. What you do is you find that middle ground. You don't have to be too much on this side to where you're kind of demeaning yourself and like playing yourself down, but you also don't have to like be a bully and do all this extra stuff that nobody, because both on too far on each side is corny to an extent. You can go out there, like, do what you got to do. The ego and energy are needed to feel competition. At a certain point, what's going to drive you isn't your training, but it's the fact that you really don't want to lose to the guy next to you. Like, because that's all the last 100 meters of a race. Depending, like, it don't matter what race it is. Ego is necessary to compete and survive in track and field, but just keep it on the track. Nobody has to be like a jerk to people. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So, all right. God bless. Goodbye.